Well, breaking news, sound the alarm. The government of Canada is shut down effective immediately. We're going to be talking about what does this mean? What does this look like? Why this is happening and what is actually affected? For those that are wondering, is question period still going to happen? Are they still going to be debating? Yes, they will. And I hope to see you at question period later on today. You can find a link for that channel, House of Canada, link down below in the description. It is incredible, a phenomenal community. This is insane. The government is caught with their tail between their legs. You've got scandals, you've got money laundering, you've got how many Randys are there? 11 MPs that are still not known to the public. So we're going to be taking a look at all of these things. But before we get into it, of course, I want to ask you to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. And if you haven't joined the membership program, I highly recommend that you do so, because I am now coming out with some actual perks for the memberships, such as 15% off sticker packs. So this sticker pack just dropped right now. You've got these here. Where's the funds? Wacko. You have jail for Trudeau. You've got the penetrated, and you have the Trudeau on a milk carton. And not to worry, because I do have new stickers coming out either later today or tomorrow. But channel members do get 15% off. But if you aren't a channel member, of course, the link is down below in the description and the pinned comment below. But I hope to see you guys become channel members at some point. And without further ado, let's just get into this video. So you've got this video right here that just surfaced a couple of days ago. CSIS, our Canadian agency that protects from foreign interference, foreign countries, has said a former parliamentarian may have worked on behalf of a foreign government. This comes as like on top of all the other news that has happened in regards to this, right? So this is just crazy, man. Canada is a hub for, harboring terrorists, but also freaking foreign interference. It's nuts.
Federal inquiry into foreign interference going on in the capital now, looking into how China and other countries have been interfering in Canadian politics. Big question, how deep does it go? Who might be compromised? CSIS has now confirmed, Canada's spy agency, CSIS, that a former parliamentarian suspected of working to influence parliamentary business on behalf of a foreign country. Listen to this.
A former parliamentarian is suspected of having worked to influence parliamentary business on behalf of a foreign government. And Mr. Bowser, this one's new.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, getting the very latest there. The document did not say if the parliamentarian was a senator or a member of parliament or what party they belong to. This kind of thing is getting some people very upset. They want people to be named over what they may have been doing. Also, the name of the country they were allegedly working for was not in the document either, raising questions. At the inquiry, the interim head of Canada's spy agency, her name is Vanessa Lloyd, she says that members of parliament were briefed that China was the main country conducting foreign election interference in Canada.
Directs its foreign interference activities with regards to, in a very party agnostic way, to individuals that it views as most friendliest or as willing to represent and advance the interests of China in our electoral processes, both at the provincial and federal level.
This round of hearings is looking at the ability of federal agencies to identify and counter foreign meddling. Prime Minister Trudeau will be testifying on the last day, which is on October the 16th.
So if you're wondering at this point, what the hell is going on? What's the problem with Canada? Why are we a hub for foreign interference, for foreign election interference, from all this stuff? That's the state of Canada. And we haven't really known how bad it is until, finally right now, where the government themselves, 3 party leaders have unanimously voted to pretty much pause everything and say, all right, we need to just chill out and figure this shit out. Let's take a look at really what broke the story. Was Andrew Scheer made a press conference late last night, and he announced this, right? So let's take a look now at this announcement.
For 9 years, Justin Trudeau has shown that he's not worth the cost or the corruption. The Speaker has just recently ruled that all House business, all government business must be put aside while members of Parliament consider Liberal corruption. First, we had the case of the Green Slush Fund, the SDTC fund, where the Auditor General found over $330 million funneled to Liberal insiders' own businesses. She found massive conflicts of interest. Basically, these Liberal appointed board members who made the decision as to which companies got money, taxpayers' money, from this fund, were funneling that money to their own businesses or to the businesses of their close friends. So the Auditor General has blown the whistle on that, yet the government refuses to hand over the documents to the RCMP. The House of Commons passed a production order demanding that all documents, all information that the Auditor General uncovered, plus any documents that might exist in any government department related to this scandal, be handed over to the RCMP. The government is refusing, and as a result, the House will be seized with this corruption matter until they hand over the documents. And then we have the case of the other Randy, where a senior Trudeau minister is alleged to have been sitting around the cabinet table while also involved in his own business's affairs. His business partner was summoned before committee and refused to disclose all the information, refused to name who the other Randy is, refused to hand over all the documents and answer the questions that were put to him. And as a result, the House is seized with that motion as well. So what we're saying today is that the government will not be able to, the House will be staying on these corruption matters until the Liberals hand over all the documents to the RCMP. While Canadians are suffering with the cost of living crisis that Justin Trudeau caused with his runaway inflation, while millions of Canadians are visiting a food bank for the first time and young Canadians are giving up on the dream of home ownership as housing costs have doubled under the NDP Liberal government, it's clear once again that the Liberals will always stop and enrich their friends while they impoverish Canadians.
This is insane. This is what happens when a government gets pushed too far. When like corruption is running rampant, when just insane behavior is tolerated within a government, you have a breaking point. And this is it right now. We're seeing the breaking point of the Canadian government. Like out of nowhere, man. I streamed Question Period yesterday when it happened. Chances are some of you watching this very video saw it. There was no signs of this. Out of nowhere, just poof, out of the magic hat. They kind of brought it up a little bit now in hindsight. Pierre Poilievre did say that he does want to launch a criminal investigation into Justin Trudeau, but I mean, things like that are said all the time. Turns out, hey, they're freaking doing it. They shut down government because of Trudeau's corruption. Like, Trudeau is actually going to be in the history books. Congratulations, Justin. Good job, buddy. You really earned your ticket to fame of being the worst prime minister, quite literally, that Canada has ever seen. Let's see what else Andrew Scheer has to say about the matter.
Like, what's this going to look like, and how long is this going to go on?
So the Speaker has ruled that the parliamentary that Parliament's rules were broken in this Liberal cover-up. The House of Commons demanded these documents be sent to the RCMP so that the RCMP can determine whether or not there are criminal charges warranted because of this corruption. The government refused to comply with this long-standing power that Parliament has to hold governments to account. And by doing so, the Speaker has now ruled that all government business must be put aside until the House deals with this corruption motion. It's really up to the government to determine how long that will take, but it's clear that they're willing to go to extreme lengths to cover up their corruption, that they're willing to put the business of Parliament off to the side just to protect Liberal insiders, Liberal-friendly appointees to this board funneled money to their own companies. That's taxpayers' money. And while Canadians are paying higher carbon taxes, higher prices at the grocery store, higher mortgage costs with high interest rates, Liberal insiders stopped and enriched themselves. It's never been so good to be a Liberal insider. It's never been so tough to be a hardworking Canadian.
Wow.
No question period? No anything? What does it mean?
This will be question period, but as to the business that the House debates every day, the Speaker has ruled that these corruption motions must be dealt with before any other business can be done. That's also a question for the government. They control when they assign days, and they control when the House can move on by transmitting the documents to the RCMP.
So in a lot of these reports, there was a instrumental amount of redacted pieces. You got these government portfolios, these reports that are, briefings, notes, everything. We've seen the whole shebang. We've seen it unravel in real time with the Emergencies Act, special rapporteur shenanigans that they put on, right? Those black bars on the pieces of paper that just hide information. There's been so much of that unanimously all party leaders have said, all right, we actually have to see what the hell is behind that. So they've paused everything because they don't know what's up. Now, the speculation of who the hell has been affected by foreign interference. This is crazy. So I have my own theories, and you might have your own theories. But one person in particular who was in the heat of the spotlight, allegedly, was Marco Mendicino. Remember him? Square jaw, big ass mouth, right? Kind of big, burly dude. All of a sudden, after the Emergencies Act inquiry, after all of that stuff, he went into hiding. He just stepped out of nowhere and he went MIA. And now he's come back 80 pounds, maybe lighter. He's wearing 3 sizes smaller suits and he's still not at the front. He's still at the very back. And you don't see him unless you look for him. But he's there at most question periods, sitting at the way back, and all the time he's like, oh, he doesn't want to be there. It's actually kind of funny. I'll do my best to point him out at today's question period. But nonetheless, who else do you think? What are your theories? Rumored, right? Allegedly, speculatory, I heard, whatever, all that crap you got to say to be like, it's not real, but maybe it's real. Who do you think? Right down below in the comments, who else you think is on that list, right? That's one, potentially, right? Allegedly. That's one alleged name. There's 10 more of these people. It's insane, man. I grew up having faith in the system. It sounds crazy because I've never voted. I've been so transparent about that. I know a lot of people get mad. Yes, I'm going to be voting for the Conservative Party of BC in the coming week or two. But nonetheless, I grew up having faith in the system. I joined the military. I worked for the federal government. I, love to hear "O Canada" at the start of every single morning for school. I grew up just thinking that, man, our government is great. Our government is good. Trust everybody. The police are there to help you. The government's there. These government programs, wow, they're phenomenal. They help people in need. And our government, we're the best country in the world. And then I grew up and I started to realize, life isn't just headlines and, pretty little movies. It's real life, and it hits you hard. And when you figure out that, when you find out the harsh reality that the government has not really done much to help us. Sure, they've set up the infrastructure, which kind of sucks a little bit, like a Canadian infrastructure. Like, it could be a lot better, right? But we do live in a nice country, beautiful people. You're an awesome person. I like to consider myself a half-decent person, right, on most days, depending. But nonetheless, we live in a beautiful country and we should be thriving, but we're not. And why is this? We've got government employees, government insiders in Parliament that are going to be on by-election ballots. And they've been stealing millions, hundreds of millions, potentially billions of dollars. They've been reprioritizing things to make themselves rich, their friends rich, all of this stuff that we already know. And it actually is taking a massive toll on our economy, on people, on our health. It's crazy. And so what they're doing right now by taking this pause, I think, is a phenomenal win, not just for Conservatives, not just for people that support Pierre, but for Canadians, so that you can have government leaders get together in that same room and say, all right, what the hell is going on? We need to figure this out. I need to go tell my people stuff. You need to go tell your people stuff. And we need to get, Parliament back up and running. So let's unredact stuff. And from that, there's so much speculation, right? People, you see the comments, the trolls. I know it's a small amount of voice, but nonetheless, you got people criticizing Pierre Poilievre. The media has been criticizing Pierre Poilievre. Why aren't you getting your top secret clearance to see the whole Russia interference stuff? Well, then that would silence him. He wouldn't be able to talk about it. So we're just going to have to wait and see if Pierre will actually be able to talk about it, if the government leaders are going to be like, all right, collectively, we all agree on this. We're all going to put out the same statements, or if, then they're just going to individually tell us their perspectives. But nonetheless, I think this is a massive win for democracy because shit has not been going well, like extremely not well. And something needs to happen. Something needs to change. And this is a step, I guess, in a direction. It's yet to actually know if it's the right direction, but it's something. Now, if we pause from all of this and we take a look at maybe the different perspectives, the different paths, there's the one that we're taking a look at right now, which is the legitimate path with our democracy, finding the truth, pausing government, saying, all right, look, there's some traitors in government, there's money that's being mismanaged, there's a lot of name calling that's happening, there's a lot of tension that's happening, there's a lot of craziness all around that's happening. So what we're seeing right now is democracy in Canada actually working in our favor, which is a rare W, but nonetheless, it's happening. We're witnessing it. Phenomenal. And then there's the other side. There's going to be a lot of skeptics. There's going to be conspiracy theories of, is this the House Speaker who ruled on this to maybe try to benefit Justin Trudeau in a narcissistic way? Is this the House Speaker having a bias to say, you know what, Trudeau, you're not doing so good. Let me throw you a bone. Let me pause government for you so you can figure stuff out, and we'll put on a whole charade? Because since that release that Andrew Scheer just did, right, which was yesterday after question period or something of the sorts, right, there hasn't been any single mention of anything by any government official. Maybe it's happened like early this morning and I didn't see it, but nonetheless, at the time of this recording, no one else has said a single thing. Hush by everybody. And it just kind of begs the question, what the hell is going on? Now, I'm not feeding into that conspiracy side of things that I just mentioned. I do think that this is our democracy working for us for a change, which is like, hey, that's good. Let's figure out those names. Let's solve some of these mysteries, right? But nonetheless, I want to pass the question off to you. How do you feel about this? This is a shock to the system. This is a shock to Canadians. This is a shock to everybody. Like, this came out of nowhere, man. Out of nowhere. So I want to know what you guys think down below. Do you have a more conspiratorial approach? Are you thinking that this is good? Is this bad? Let me know your reasoning down below in the comments. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to end this video. So if you haven't yet already, I highly recommend you guys smash the like button and subscribe. Help grow the channel. And as well, final reminder, if you want that sticker pack, it's linked down below in the description and the comment below. And we'll see you later on today for question period. Bye for now.